Hello, welcome to our spring presentation. It's not really a concert, it's like we know it, but it is an opportunity for us to take a look at what our students have been working on. This has not been a year like we planned. We all know this year is not anything like what we expected it to be, and hopefully it's not a year that we ever have to go through again. But having said that, our students have never stopped working. They've put in a lot of time, they've put in a lot of effort all throughout the year, and especially all through the second semester. And so this presentation is going to highlight some of the work that they did. My name is Mr. Boyd. I'm the band director here at Orange Vista. If there's anyone out there I have not had a chance to meet. And it's my pleasure to work with these young people and to now be able to show you the work that they've been putting in. The piece that you just heard, it's called Cimarron Fanfares, written by Mr. Robert Sheldon, and it is a pioneer-flavored fanfare. It was written and inspired by a small town in New Mexico, Cimarron, New Mexico, and I thought it was very appropriate to start our concert with that piece, since the pioneers of early America, their job was to explore and to create and to kind of establish a new experience of living, and that's exactly what our students have done this year. They've had to create and explore, and working together, we've created a new experience of learning and of making music. And so I thought it was an appropriate piece to start our concert with. The next piece we're going to hear is called All the Pretty Little Horses, and it's arranged. This particular arrangement was done by Miss Ann McGinty. And all the pretty little horses. It's a delicate folk lullaby. It's one that you've probably heard. But one of the nice things about this piece, one of the nice things that's come out of distance learning, is it's given us an opportunity to kind of pause and really talk about music and what music is. Normally we're so busy with performances and competitions and we're constantly going, but we were able to really stop and talk about the whys of music. And this piece in particular gave us an opportunity for that. And one thing that we did is I asked the students to think, since this is a lullaby, I asked the students to think about their favorite childhood memory. And as they worked on this piece, as they performed this piece, to think about that favorite childhood memory and see if that didn't create a different musical experience for them. And they all agreed that it completely changed. It was no longer about notes and rhythms on a page, but it was about telling the story of their favorite childhood memory. So I thought it would be kind of fun to share with you what some of those favorite childhood memories were. So as you listen to this piece, you're going to see what they said their favorite childhood memories were. So this is All the Pretty Little Horses, arranged by Miss Ann McGinty. So our next piece is a march. It's a concert march. It's called Valley Forge March. It was written by Mr. John Edmondson. And just like when you think of Valley Forge, you think of George Washington and the Revolutionary War, and that's exactly what this piece represents. You're going to hear the Revolutionary War hymn Chester, as well as a song you'll probably recognize called Yankee Doodle. And it combines those two into a fun little concert march. So we hope you enjoy the Valley Forge March by John Edmondson. So the next piece gave us an opportunity to look outside of the United States. That's one nice thing about music, is music is an international language. Anywhere you go in the world, music is music. And so this next piece, London Derriere, often known as Danny Boy, comes from an Irish folk tune. It's actually two things combined. Danny Boy is actually the name of a poem that was written. So the lyrics are Danny Boy. The actual song or hymn is called London Derriere, written, again, inspired by a city over in that part of the world called London. Maybe you've heard of it. But became famous when it was combined with the Irish hymn, or the Irish lyrics, and became an Irish folk tune called Danny Boy. So we hope you enjoy London Derriere. Our next piece is one that really doesn't need any introduction. If you've ever been to a graduation, you have heard Pomp and Circumstance, uh, which is a piece that we learned. Originally, we were working on this piece when we thought graduation was going to be virtual. And the school administration came to me and said, is there any way we can get a recording of the band playing Pomp and Circumstance so that we can have our students performing for graduation? And I said, of course, we can make that happen. Fast forward a couple of months, and as most of you know, we are actually performing at graduation, which is happening in about a week or so. And we're very excited to be able to honor our seniors and be there for that celebration with them. But we are also going to take a moment now to honor our seniors, the class of 2021 that are part of the Coyote Pride. They've been with me, some of them only a year, some of them for 4 years, but it's always tough to say goodbye to the seniors because they are the ones who have put in their time, who put in their effort, who have helped build and create the program that we have. And now it's time to let them go. I don't want to let them go, but I have to. So we're going to take this opportunity as we play Pomp and Circumstance to recognize and to celebrate the class of 2021 with Pomp and Circumstance. Congratulations, seniors. You will be missed. You will be missed. So our next piece, it's a short, fast little piece. It's called Conundrum. It's written by Robert Sheldon. The notes on the inside of the piece say this. A conundrum is defined as a question or problem having only a conjectural answer, but your audience will have no questions or problems enjoying this tasty musical offering. The rhythmic groove, imaginative textures, and colorful scoring will make this, hopefully, a favorite of yours. It's a fun little piece. It goes by quick. The students had a lot of fun learning it. This is Conundrum by Mr. Robert Sheldon. So our next piece is, it's called Forever, ... And those three dots become important to the meaning of the piece. And I'll read you the kind of the explanation of the piece in just a moment. But this is another piece where we were able to stop and talk about the whys of music and what it is about music that makes it so special. The explanation of the piece, it was written for a gentleman named Gregory Mantoni, and it says this: Gregory Mantoni was an all-state and all-Eastern euphonium player who grew up on Long Island, New York. He was majoring in music at Ithaca College when a tragic car accident took his life. He was the product of the Mount Sinai School District, a small district on Long Island where his father is still the director of music and applied arts. As with any piece of this nature, it finds its form through a wealth of emotions. In this particular case, the composer was asked to explore music of a lyrical nature that would become more uplifting as it developed, and so began the process of writing Forever ... In many ways, the title seems incredibly appropriate, as it implies that the piece will continue to be uplifting long after the music ends. So to go with that thought of not only music inspiring after it ends, but who's inspired you? And so I asked the students that question. I said, who's inspired you? Who's one person that has inspired you in some way as you've been growing up? And what is one lesson that they taught you that you're going to take with you forever? Just like this young euphonium player who inspired so many around him with what he accomplished in his short life. What have you young people learned in your short life that you're going to take with you forever? And again, when you ask the students, if the music changed when they had that thought in their mind, I think without a doubt every one of them will say it became a completely different experience. No longer no longer notes and rhythms on a page, but it really became telling their story, talking about the person that inspired them, talking about the lessons that they've learned, and being able to share that through music. And it really became kind of a special experience as they worked on this piece. So we hope you enjoy and are able to feel the inspiration that comes from Forever by Mr. Brian Ballmatches. If you have ever been to an Orange Vista concert, you're going to know that I have a tradition that I always end every concert with a march. It's something that I did when I was in high school, oftentimes in college, and it's something that's important to me. And it's very traditional to always end a concert with a march. So there's no need, I don't think, to be any different in a virtual concert. So we're going to end this concert with a march. This is written by Mr. John Philip Sousa, the March King. This is Fairest of the Fair. This particular arrangement was done by Mr. Robert W. Smith and Michael Story. And just a little bit about this march. The Fairest of the Fair is generally regarded as one of Sousa's finest and most melodic marches, and its inspirations came from the sight of a pretty girl whom he was not even acquainted. Apparently Sousa had some ulterior motives. It was an immediate success and has remained one of his most popular compositions. It stands out as one of the finest examples of the application of pleasing melodies to the restrictive framework of a military march. One of Sousa's greatest, and Sousa was one of the greatest. So we are happy to end our concert, not evening, but end our concert with Fairest of the Fair by Mr. John Philip Sousa. And before we go, I just want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. These students are awesome. They've inspired me throughout this year with their diligence, with their willingness to keep pushing ahead. As things changed and as things got, we didn't know what the school year was going to look like. We didn't know what second semester was going to look like. But the kids just never stopped. They just kept looking forward to, okay, here's our situation. What are we going to do next? And so because of them, we were able to put this concert together. I was just lucky enough to watch it all happen. The students, the young men and women who you have helped to motivate and to push are the ones who made it all happen. So I'm so proud of the work that they have done. I'm excited to hopefully get back to a little bit more of normal next year, to actually be able to play in person, to work with these young people in person. But I'd say we did the absolute best that we could have possibly done this year. It's not the same clean and polished performance that we're used to, but it's impressive. Nothing short of impressive that these students who have never sat together in a classroom, some of them have never met face to face, but through technology and through their hard works, we've been able to put this concert together, and hopefully you've been able to enjoy what they have done. So once again, to end our concert, this is Fairest of the Fair by Mr. John Philip Sousa.